circling. Moments pause and hearts align. Feel the warmth of his design. In the stillness we shall find. God imparts a peace of mind.
Welcome back. Back again with another stream. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. Hope the weather's treating you nicely. Hope you're having a good, beautiful Sunday. Hope it's nice and chill. Just going to be a chill stream tonight, just chilling. I'm actually going to be drawing. I've got a little side project I've been working on for a little while, so I'm just going to be doing a bit of drawing, and I thought while I'm drawing I might as well have a little chat, see if there's anyone about, see what's going on. Geisha, first one here, great. Welcome back, Geisha. Mohammed Gal, wow, Mohammed Gal, haven't seen you in ages, bro. I'm fucking stressed. Stress stream. Well, if you want to come up and chat about it, Mohammed, I can open up the stream for you, buddy. But otherwise, it's just going to be me sitting here drawing. So you could come up and have a little chat while I draw. And I will give you my attention, but I'll be scribbling as well. So yeah, if you're down for it, bro, I'll open up the stream. Otherwise, it's just going to be me here talking, chilling. I've got a couple of videos I'm going to play in the background while I draw. And just chilling. This is just a chill stream. There's a couple of things I want to teach, but not today. Not today. I'm going to save it for another day. So yeah, this one's just a chill one, bro, if you're still here. Anyways, I will crack on with... it's not there. Sugar. Yeah, I'm just going to have to line up that video again. It was supposed to come through. Mohammed says, chill stream, ice cream stream. Cool. Whatever makes you happy, buddy. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever rocks your cradle. Whatever lights your fire. Whatever blows your leaf. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good night either way. Anyway, I wasn't actually expecting anyone to be in the stream. It's just going to be me just talking to myself. But yeah, you're more than welcome to stay and chat if you want. Where you been, Mohammed? It's been a while. Mohammed says vanilla ice cream with Oreo cookies and cookie batter and a waffle cone. That sounds super sweet. I don't think that will be this stream, but yeah, I like the hope. I like the hope. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing this thing. Oh, sugar. Close that. Might be here. Oh man, I can't find it. I got rid of it thinking that I've already sent it across. Oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Maybe I sent it in the wrong chat. Let me try in the other one. Otherwise, I'll just find another random video. It was just something to listen to while I draw, and yeah, because I wasn't expecting anyone in stream, so I was just gonna chill here, do my thing, my tangalang. Yeah, can't find it. We'll just have to find a random YouTube video to play in the background, unless you guys are chatting. We'll see what happens. Ooh, interesting. All right, we'll throw this video up. Something about the sun. I like watching. Those of you who know me know that I'm a little bit weird. I like random things. I don't like the typical stuff everyone. I do like the typical stuff everyone else likes, but I like other stuff on top of it. Some of the stuff that I like on top of it is like space weather. It's fascinating to me. The sunspots, the solar flares, the plasma streams, all of it. It's just fascinating to me. So we'll watch a little bit of that while I draw. Okay, yep, nothing else like standing out at the moment, so we'll just play this one. Do, 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 do. I really love that beginning song. So good. Nope, don't want to do that. I want to do this, and then this, and then this. Beautiful. It's like I'm a professional. Awesome. So yeah, this some random YouTube guy. He's only come onto the scene quite recently that I've seen. He may have been making videos for a little while, but yeah, he's only come onto the scene quite recently. He's a bit into the spirituality and into the space thing. So he kind of blends the two together, which I like. So yeah, hopefully this will be an interesting little video while I draw.
Week has been very intense for a lot of people, very dynamic for the Earth, and now we're starting to see solar activity ramp back up quickly. We just had a 2.2 X-class flare today, blast off from the sun. Sunspot group 391 X-class ramp back up quickly. We just had a 2.2 X-class flare today.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. It's not that big, but X is like, so you have C, M, and then X. So typically C is chill. M is, oh, there's a bit of activity. X is like, okay, we got to be careful, because if one of these X class solar flares goes directly towards the Earth, that could be trouble for us. So yeah, interesting. X2.
Day blast off from the sun. Sunspot group 3912, the culprit, soon to rotate out of view.
Okay, because it's about to rotate out of view. That means that it wasn't directed towards the Earth. That's why he's so chill about it.
Big sunspots rotating directly into the Earth bullseye zone at this moment in time. As Neptune stations direct, amplifying its energies, we have the waxing first quarter moon and much more to talk about in today's video. So let's jump right in. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I'm your space weatherman, Stefan Burns, here to help you understand how you're feeling.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think the telescope is called Suvi 131, which is funny because of Suvi, if Suvi's watching.
In the current energetic qualities here on Earth by looking at solar activity, what's happening in our solar system with planetary geometries and planetary resonances, the larger energetic influences of the cosmos. I bring that all together and present videos for you almost daily. So if you like the sound of that, then please subscribe and join the Soul Tribe. All right. Also, before we start, a quick reminder that the December...
Actually, I might as well do this as well. Well, there's a few people here and he's just said it. Like the video if you want to support the channel or you like the content, or dislike the video if you don't like it, and share if you want to share. Mohammed says, I'm gonna join this stream 1 sec. Where's the link? How do I join the stream? Bro, you give up. All right, cool, you give up. It's all good. Like I said, it was just if you wanted to talk about whatever was going on, but if you want to just have a chill stream, you can chill. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. But if you do want to come up, just let me know.
Super sale is currently active right now on my website, wildfreeorganic.com/store. There you can find...
Yeah, he's got some really cool things at his store as well. He's got like sandals, which are specially designed for like earthing, because you're supposed to put your bare feet on the earth every once in a while. And then he's got some other bits and pieces. Like I said, he's spirituality and science mixed together, which is makes it better to understand the science, I think. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
All my all natural holistic wellness products, most of them which I make myself, like the tea blends. This is herb coffee right here. And I have spirituality, tranquility, electricity, vitality, fruit tea, a whole bunch that I mix up myself.
Those are fun. Some cool names. Those are all tea names. Vitality, electricity. That's funny. I like that.
Tranquility, electricity, vitality, fruit tea, a whole bunch that I mix up myself. They are awesome. Also, new products now, like these super optical clarity quartz crystals. These are great for amplifying your natural energies.
I'm not sure about the whole crystal side of things, but yeah, tea sounds good and shoes sound good. But crystals, I think the thing with crystals is because I've got crystals here and about somewhere, but I've had crystals previously, but I didn't really get them to, what's the word I'm saying, amplify my energy. It was more of a reminder for me. So say I had a particular stone which was, I don't know, I know one of the names was Tiger's Eye. So let me have a look and see what Tiger's Eye is. Because when I would get it, I'd do the research. So Tiger's Eye is a metamorph. Let me type in spiritual, so it gives me the spiritual meaning. Yeah, Tiger's Eye is about balance, qualities of passion and inspiration with the earth elements, qualities of stability and grounding, courage, protection, luck, grounding, clear vision, emotional balance, physical healing. These are the things that are associated with this stone. So what I would do is I would think, okay, this stone is reminding me that there is other energies other than fear, anger, lust, greed, and attachment. Like there's balance, there's courage, there's protection, there's luck, grounding, clear vision, emotional balance, physical healing. There's other things that we could think about other than what may be going horribly around us. So if things are going bad around you, this would normally this is the way I used it, would remind me that there's other things I could focus on other than just the bad things. And then that would allow me to reshift my focus. The crystal in itself has done nothing. It hasn't magically changed my aura or anything. Well, not that I know of. But for me, it wasn't anything magical or mystical. It was more about understanding the energies. The fact that also crystals are essentially crystallized energy. Essentially, what crystals are, it's just crystallized energy in different shapes and different formats, like with the internal atomic structure. Some are like pyramid shaped, some hexagonal, whatever that structure is of the crystalline structure, it then creates that particular crystal. So yeah, for me it was just a reminder that energy can take physical form, which was a good reminder. And then the other one was that each crystal would kind of have its own quality that would remind me of. Once again, nothing magical, mystical, or anything about it. It was just purely a way of orienting the mind to something that will serve me rather than hinder me. Anyway, I've gone on a little tangent on crystals. Let's get back to the video.
These are completely clear and see-through, the highest quality they can find, sourced from Colombia. I also have earthing shoes available for you, so you can stay grounded more often in your day-to-day, which helps you to balance and equalize your bioelectric energy.
You could easily just go into the garden and put your feet on the ground, but this is more designed for when you're out and about and you can't really get a chance to put your feet on the floor. But I don't think it'd work very well with concrete or pavement. I think you'd need to be on the dirt, grass, whatever. And at that point, I'd prefer to just take off my shoes and feel the grass underneath my feet. So in the mornings as well, like you got that dew still on the dew on the grass leaves, and then you put your feet down. And it's like, oh, it's so cold, but it's so nice. Yeah. So shoes, I haven't got them because, like I said, au natural is the way forward. Get full feet on the ground, get that full experience, enjoy it, and appreciate it.
Energies, all natural. I work with a manufacturer in Turkey to produce those. I went there twice. They are amazing, and they are a great supplement to natural grounding, which would be going outside barefoot, walking around, laying out on the lawn for a while. So you can use all these products together. For example, you can use spirituality along with some of these quartz crystals and grounding to really amplify and just enhance your overall biofield energies, which helps you with that self-actualization, spiritual enhancement process. I do want to take a quick moment to talk about herb coffee, because right now with solar activity ramping.
He's really on a selling mode at the moment, which is probably best to do at the beginning, but let's just skip this a little bit and get back to what I wanted to listen to, which is the sciencey bits.
It's available right now for 12% off, which is a huge sale for my website using the code DIVINE12. Okay, here we have our 131 SUVI imagery. We will notice a lot of M-class flares pop off across the sun. So solar activity has ramped up, and then it culminated today with a 2.2 X-class flare from Sunspot Group 3912. Boom shakalaka, the first X-class flare that we have had in a while. Actually, the first solar activity of note that we've had for quite some time, really ramping up in the past 24 hours. Whereas before that, we had like a week of very little activity, and now things are getting spicy. We had a coronal mass ejection launch from that 2.2 X-class flare. Let's check it out.
It's gonna miss.
We're doctors Hassan and Hussein, cosmetic dentists and owners of Smile.
If it was on the edge as it was leaving.
Chronograph imagery, we see this coronal mass ejection propagate out into space from that 2.2 X-class flare. You'll notice it's going off to the side here. So it's not that halo coronal mass ejection, which goes like this. But
so you're saying that if it was showing like a blast of light going all around it, like there was a blast of light all around that circle, because that black circle is essentially the sun, because obviously if you're looking at the flares and what it's emitting, you don't want to look at the sun directly. So you block that out and you look at everything else coming off it. So if there was a solar flare that was directed directly to Earth, the whole circle will have like light radiating from it, which means that it's coming directly at you, but it's not. It's going off to the side. I think that's the direction that the Earth travels, so we might end up hitting the tail end of the stream, but it's usually nothing serious. Nothing serious.
There does seem to be a slight Earth-directed component. It seems like we're going to just barely get a flank impact from that, or may even just disturb the solar wind on the edge, creating these like eddy currents that are going to sweep by. So we may have some enhanced solar wind conditions over the next few days.
The really good thing about keeping an eye on all this stuff is usually that you can get a heads up of potential aurora borealis or northern lights. Typically, if you see a solar flare directly coming towards the Earth, which is medium strength or strong, or even a glancing blow, if it's just slightly not hitting directly at Earth, but just slightly off, it can cause the northern lights to appear in lower places. That's why previously in the UK you could have seen it from some places. I unfortunately didn't. Every time I would watch one of these and I'd see, oh, there's an opportunity for solar flares, I'd go out and there'd be just clouds and it would suck. I do want to try and do this and then go camping. But obviously, like I said, you'll get like 3 days notice when you do something like that. But yeah, that's one of the plans I might do in the future, is try and catch an aurora borealis, and hopefully maybe I even take my telescope, because I've got my telescope. I hook up a camera to it. So that's one of the potential ideas of if I do a camping stream in the future. We will try and get some aurora borealis.
As a result of this, specifically in about probably 3 days, we'll notice an uptick in the solar wind strength and maybe a bit more volatility in the southward component. And if that flips really negative, then we could see an enhancement of aurora and overall solar energy mass being injected into our plazosphere system. So be on the lookout for that. There's a higher probability, at least with that 2.2 X-class flare. And in general, there's a higher probability as we continue in the month of December, because now we have some pretty big sunspots rotating into the Earth bullseye strike zone. Let's give them a look. Here we have our sunspots on the Earth-facing side of the sun for today, December 8th. And you'll notice 3912 right there. That is the culprit for that 2.2 X-class flare. In the northern hemisphere, rotating out right now is 3910. But these are the two right now that are really working.
So I should have possibly explained this earlier. Oh, what's happening, Proper Geezer? Welcome back. I should have explained this a little bit earlier. So these sunspots are, if I remember correctly, typically places where there is a lot of magnetic activity happening on the sun, and it's causing these black spots to appear. And the magnetism there is usually of two polarities, and then when they reach a certain level, they pop, and that's when. So let me show you on this piece of paper. No, not this piece of paper, than this drawing board. Okay, let's drop that out. All right, so that's the sun. That's. Let me just minimize the screen so my face is bigger. There we go. There's the sun, my beautifully drawn sun. So let's say over here, where that black spot is, because if it was in the middle, it's harder to show you exactly what it does. But let's say that black spot over there is a sunspot. Essentially, there's going to be magnetic fields like this. And what those magnetic fields do is they pull plasma up and then they come back down. So there's just like liquid fire just kind of going up and then raining back down onto the sun. And that's what happens at these sunspot places. That's what happens. And then what happens is when that magnetism complexity starts to destabilize, it can either collapse or it can shoot that out. It will shoot out whatever it was hanging in the air. All that liquid rain or liquid fire will just be hanging there, and then it gets shot out. And when it gets shot out, it could potentially hit the Earth. And that's what causes the aurora borealis. I'm sure most of you knew some of this stuff, but it's just in case there's people on here who aren't as nerdy as me. So yeah, that was my beautiful sun picture. Hope that helped you understand what a sunspot is. So typically the sunspots are, as you can see, quite randomly placed, and they look quite small. But don't forget, the sun's huge. So I'm pretty sure the Earth could fit in one of those sunspots quite easily.
Worth paying attention to because they are.
Probably says, do I get a go at Hangman today? Yeah, if you want. It's a chill session. It's a chill stream. So yeah, we could play some Hangman. We could do some science-related Hangman or something. Probably says, are you talking about CMEs? Yes, CMEs, coronal mass ejections. Probably says the sun is 1 million times bigger than the Earth. Possibly, I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, it's bigger basically. It's bigger than the Earth, according to the science. Whether it's not a flat Earth and it's not just a ball sitting above it, who knows? But according to the science, it's really, really far and really, really big. But yeah, so we'll do a bit of Hangman later. I'm just drawing at the moment while I'm just watching the stream. I'm watching my own stream. No, I'm watching a little bit of this while I draw, talking about it, and then I'll probably throw in something else, or we could play a bit of Hangman afterwards. We'll go with the flow, see what happens.
We're just about to enter into that strike zone, and these have the greatest magnetic field in general complexity overall. So if you zoom in, we don't have the super good 4K SDO imagery anymore at this time because the server room at Stanford got flooded. That's looking like it's going to come back online sometime in 2025. We hope sooner rather than later. But we can still see that these two sunspots, 3916, 3917, are relatively close together, and they're quite large. If you zoom out again, you'll notice that they take up a good amount of the Earth-facing solar disk. And so they have been popping off with some lower grade solar flares, not an X-class flare yet, but there is a 5% probability assigned to 3917 for today, according to NOAA space weather forecasters. We'll see if we do get any high level solar flare activity from these going into that X-class category, which is the highest category, unless you go to an X10 or beyond, which is in like a Y-class flare. And that's not used by everybody. So when you have an M-class flare or an X-class flare, you're already at the second highest and the first highest category for solar flares overall. These are no small things. if you were to stand right there next to it, it wouldn't be fun for you. So when
Definitely wouldn't be fun. Has anyone, just wondering out of curiosity, has anyone in chat seen the Northern Lights? Anyone ever literally seen them themselves with their own eyes or experienced anything like that? Be good to know.
we have powerful solar flares launched from the sun and they do line up with Earth, the effects can be quite dramatic. Really powerful geomagnetic storms and then other geophysical effects, which I discuss on my channel, like an enhancement of earthquake activity, enhancement of volcanic activity, effects on our biology. Electromagnetism is the fundamental force of the universe that really guides our day-to-day and our reality. And so these are big electromagnetic explosions that are occurring that then ripple out through space and impact Earth. It looks like we will have just a super flank impact from that 2.2 X-class flare and the coronal mass ejection associated with it. Let's check our NASA space weather model.
So this is the viral flying ball from TikTok. And if you throw it in a
That's not the
satellite,
NASA model, that's an advert. Hashtag not sponsored, but it looks like a fun toy. Ooh, and it comes back. It's a boomerang.
so you don't need to worry about any batteries.
Here is our most recent space weather model by NASA showing the launch of that coronal mass ejection from that impulsive 2.2 X-class flare. You see most of it here going off to the west. We're looking at the ecliptic plane here. So we're looking.
So that's the sun in the middle. And that line that you just saw
down on the sun from the top.
That is the, you see coming out here is about to propagate out. That's the solar flare. And this is how they kind of like show, these are the planets, the different planets. And it shows the glancing blue. I think Earth is this yellow one here.
Up here's the Earth there in yellow.
Yeah.
You see some of the other planets. Here's our.
So you can see it shows like the wave. Like I said, everything is waves, frequencies, etc., etc. So like the sun sending out a wave, it will affect everything in that direction. Luckily, we're not in that direction, or unluckily, because to be honest, a solar flare knocking out all power would be horrendously bad for most of the world. But it'd also be good. But it'd also be bad. You know, it's one of those things. It's like, it's good, but it's also bad. The good thing would be that people would then end up not being on their phones all the time, not being so addicted to social media, etc., 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 not just constantly for the likes or for the gram or whatever the people do nowadays. It would be more about making connections again and actually talking to people rather than just being this fast-paced lifestyle of degeneracy. Like I said, I've dabbled in degeneracy myself, but living in it is never good. Staying in it, you know, you want to visit, you want to visit. You don't want to move in. Propaganda says, there was some in London. I couldn't see them, but my neighbor got pictures of them. Oh, sick. My sister went to the north of Canada to see them. Oh, that's so cool. I'll ping you on X and send you instructions on how to stop the YouTube ads. Oh, there's a trick, is there? Thank you. That'd be awesome. I was thinking just once I get a job and get some money coming in, if I keep doing the streaming thing, I'll probably end up buying a YouTube thing to get rid of the adverts. But if there's a trick, I like a trick. I like a trick. Propaganda says, in March 1989, a powerful solar flare provoked a geometric storm, subsequently set off a major March 13 power blackout. That wasn't 1989. That was 1889, I believe. That one was called the Carrington event, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1859 was the Carrington event. Okay, so you're saying there was another one in 1989. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know about that second one. Because I know the one in 1859 overloaded the power cables and stuff like that because they weren't really set up for a situation like this. And a lot of Canada lost power. But yeah, good knowledge on you there.
Our legend there and a whole bunch of other space probes in this inner planet zone. You see this propagating out, you'll notice just the faintest flank impact according to the space weather model there on about the 11th or 12th. And it is combining also with this very faint co-rotating interaction region there. And so that will increase the plasma density if that combination is to occur. And then because this is a coronal mass ejection, you have this increase in the solar wind velocity.
Yeah, sometimes what happens is you'll get a solar ejection, you'll get a CME, coronal mass ejection, and then you'll get another one right behind it, and then another one. And this happened a couple of months ago. There was 3 in a row, and that's what caused the Northern Lights a couple of months ago. It was those 3 in the row, because when one wave comes out and then the other wave comes out, this kind of, they're very close by to each other. So one punches the earth, the other one punches the earth, and then the third one punches the earth. So then instead of just having one hit the earth and cause the Northern Lights, now you're having 3 hit the earth, and it's like, oh, Northern Lights, more Northern Lights, more Northern Lights. So yeah, I wait for the double or the triple ones to try and stand outside to see the thing. If the single one, the thing is, it will trigger the Northern Lights, but it'll be in the northern hemisphere of the planet, like really high up. You need to be at like the tip of Scotland or the tip of Ireland or one of these places, really far up north where you've got no light pollution and you could see in the distance the colors slowly fading. Some people still can't even see it. Some Black Propaganda says some people had to use their phones just to see it. If they took a picture with the phone, then they'd see it, the colors, but with their eyes they couldn't. Well, that's what some people told me, their personal experiences. So that's why I'd rather wait for the 2 to 3 combo punch, which will give us the grand light show. And I think there's a big one coming. I think there's a big light show coming in the future. So we'll see whether it knocks out the power or not. They have been talking about power outages for years. Never happened, but they're always talking about it. And yeah, kind of makes you wonder, are they going to use, if this thing happens, knocks out the power, green Northern Lights all over the world, and now they're going to then expect people to go, oh my God, aliens? Maybe that's when they'll do their hologram projection stuff, or maybe real aliens will turn up then. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, the Canada one is separate from the Carrington event. Oh, is it? Okay, maybe I misunderstood. I'll have to research that one again. Maybe I misunderstood that. It was a good few years ago when I first started getting into all of this space stuff. I'll have to have a look for that. Probably say, yes, it's free. You don't need to pay for YouTube Premium. I've seen a YouTube ad for years. I haven't seen a YouTube ad for years. I just need to know what browser you use. Oh, cool. So it's just about getting the right browser add-on, yeah? One of those pop-up ones, killers. Which browser am I using? I think it's Chrome. No, Safari. Safari. Oh, wait, no, that's the computer one. On that one is Chrome. Sorry, I'm using 2 computers. Yeah, on the streaming one, it's going to be Chrome. I think that's Chrome. Yeah, Chrome. Cool. True, it wasn't visible to the naked eye. You had to use a camera. Okay, sweet. The one in London was pink. Amazing. That's a nice little color. Wasn't visible to the naked eye. Not knocking out the power is the least of our problems. We'll be dodging satellites. Yeah, have you seen that picture of what they show you? Let's see if we can find it. There's this picture that typically goes around that shows like what the world looks like with all the satellites around. Can't spell satellites. There we go. Satellites around Earth. I don't know why I need to specify Earth. It's like satellites around where. All right, cool. There we go. It's this picture here. Let's see if we can open it, make it even bigger. Nope, we made it smaller. Oh, here we go. So that's the picture of all the satellites around the Earth. So that's a lot of space junk, and potentially what Propaganda is saying is that with the solar flare, most of these will be knocked out of orbit and they will fall down to Earth. So yeah. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah, we'll probably be dodging those for a little while. There we go. Back to this one. Yep, back there. Safari is rubbish. Yep, seen the pic of all the satellites. There are thousands. I think there's more. Well, I was going to say more than thousands. Tens of thousands. Yeah. I don't think it would get into the hundreds of thousands because I don't think there'd be hundreds of thousands yet. Because the thing is, they don't always, like, they decommission them, they stop using them, but they're still floating out there in space. I know that there's some that they could redirect to kind of like crash land into the water, but yeah, I think all the older models are just still up there. There are thousands of them. In 2024, there are 28,300. That sounds about right. Yeah. Damn, that's still a lot, though. That is a hell of a lot. Yeah, you don't want those raining down on you, do you? All right, let's keep this going. Yeah, we'll watch a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to see if I can find something else.
So that could give Earth just a tiny rattle. We'll see really how much it impacts. I don't think it's going to be super significant, but what's kind of important as it relates to space weather and the effects here on Earth and also us is the change. And so if you have a lot of solar activity continuously going off, you kind of get used to that. But if you have very quiet conditions and then you have a shakeup, it's that differential, which in many regards is more important. So we've had extremely quiet conditions as it's related to solar activity. We've had a bunch of planetary geometry activity, but now we're having this solar activity ramp up, back up, not only with the actual light photons that the sun is producing with these flares, but now with enhanced solar wind conditions that's going to sweep by us in a few days. And I think that may be felt a little stronger by some people than they would think, because this is, again, propagating mostly to the west. But if we do have that flank impact, because conditions have been so quiet, I expect there to be a little bit of activity as a result of that on our planet in the magnetic field, and perhaps with aurora up in the high latitude regions, and perhaps even with your biophysics and just how you feel, your wellness, your day to day. That is why earthing and
They say that because essentially when the sun is sending off these waves of energy, they get absorbed by the earth, and then once they're absorbed by the earth, we can potentially absorb them as well. There's also something called the Schumann resonance. There's so many different aspects to all this sciencey stuff, especially in regards to space weather and how it affects us. Yeah, we'll have to do another stream on the Schumann resonance. I'll write that down just in case I forget. I think that one kind of deserves its own stream. I don't know. I've heard Schumann resonance a lot. I've seen it. I've heard loads of people talk about it, but I don't know how legitimate it is in regards to affecting us humans. But I don't see why not, since it's energy and we are made out of water. And like we saw in that previous stream, if you guys were there on that last stream, we talked about how water retains memory and the energy around it affects the crystalline structure of that water, and how refreshing it is, or how, what's the word I'm looking for? Not refreshing, it's how much it's been rejuvenated. There we go. Finally got the word. How much it's been rejuvenated with good energy. Propagator says they predict by 2030 there will be 20 to 100k. Yeah, well, the rate that Elon Musk is sending them up, yeah, because he doesn't just send one up, does he? He sends a whole bunch. In the words of Nikola Tesla, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Yes, exactly. Nikola Tesla was an absolute genius. He was tapped into something. He was tapped into knowledge from God, and that's why he was able to be such an amazing person who gave us all these advancements in society. And he did it without wanting to be greedy. Tesla was one of these guys, if you don't know, he tried his best to give to the world, and they just took from him. Like, there was this agreement that he had with the General Electric, I think it was. He had an agreement with them in regards to getting paid so much. But they found out that they were going to go bankrupt with the amount that they had to pay him and stuff. So he just said, don't worry about paying me my share. I'd rather you keep going as a company and providing this service than me getting paid. And in the end, he ended up dying penniless. But still an absolute legend. Absolute legend. This is why I say money doesn't make the man. Money never makes the man. The man makes the money. You know, this one guy changed the entire world completely. Every single thing that we use pretty much has an AC motor in it. And we use AC electricity, which was something that he was pushing. While, what's his face? Benjamin Franklin, I think? No, not Franklin. That was Edison. Edison was about DC power. And if you know anything about the difference of those, DC isn't as good as AC at long distance transfer of power. Anyway, I'm going into another little divergent thing, but yeah, Tesla, epic guy. Maybe I'll write that down as well. We'll do a stream on Tesla as well, because he is an absolute legend. Not Tesla, the car. It's named after a guy called Nikolai Tesla. I think he was Serbian, if I remember correctly. Serbian who went to America. The frequency range of the Schumann resonance is about 7.83 hertz and 33 hertz. Schumann resonances are a series of electromagnetic frequencies that occur between the Earth. Yeah, that's why I thought it would be easier to draw pictures and explain it, and that's why I said it would require its own kind of stream to break it down properly. They're generated by lightning strikes that cause electromagnetic energy waves to bounce between the two, creating a natural resonance. That's not the only thing that causes. I don't think it's the only thing that causes it, but I do know that definitely does cause it. But it's not the only thing. I think it's yeah. I'll have to look into that. I think you might be right, but I think there might be something else that affects the Schumann. Let me write that down. Schumann resonance, only lightning. Oh, do you know what? Let's just Google it. I'm sure that's what you did anyway. Schumann resonance affected by naturally occurring lightning, and its frequency spectrum, blah, 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 is determined by the dimensions of the cavity. So, yep. Yeah, here we go. Scientists have discovered that variations in the resonances correspond to changes in the seasons, solar activity, activity in the Earth's magnetic environment, in water aerosols in the atmosphere, and other earthbound phenomena, aka lightning. So yeah, there's a lot of different things because there's so much different energy bouncing around. For it to just be purely based on the lightning is, I don't know. Like I said, it's based on a lot of different other factors, but you are correct. It is lightning as well. When JP Morgan found out Tesla was testing the distribution of free electricity and cut his funding, yes. Well, they thought it was a pipe dream. I think. Or maybe they thought he was really going to do it and they just didn't want him to do it. Because it was meant to be about free electricity, wasn't it? So, yeah, if you can't put a price on it, we don't want it. Edison was a nasty. He killed an elephant. Yes. Yeah. That was crazy. I can't believe he did that. He did that at the World's Fair, I think it was, wasn't it? He did that at the World's Fair. So there's kids and stuff. The World's Fair, if you don't know, is just basically where I think every 10 years or something, people come together and they show the latest scientific achievements and whatnot. And Edison tried to prove Tesla wrong and said, oh, look, AC is dangerous. Look, it fried this elephant. And he fries an elephant, literally kills it in front of everyone. Absolutely horrid. Copied straight from Gemini. Yeah, I realized. Yeah, that's why I always say, like, Google's your best friend. Always ask Google. That's what I would have done. I would have gone afterwards. But the thing is, I don't like just trusting the Google AI, because just using the Google AI is just going to go on the most commonly thought thing, and it doesn't allow opportunity to expand that thinking into different realms, if that makes sense. Because when you get an answer direct, it's like, oh, cool, this is the answer. You don't get to play with the other ideas and just go, okay, maybe this works or that works, and then you go, no, okay, this is the correct one. and then you know what I mean. You miss that whole game of figuring it out. That's why I don't like a lot of AI. AI is good in its own right. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, some things I like to do my own research, especially because like you might have seen those videos from the Muslim guys recently where they were like, "Oh look, AI says that Islam's correct and Islam's the way forward." And it's like, bro, yeah, this is why I don't trust AI. Because depending on how the information's been fed to it and what information's been fed to it and how it's been programmed and blah 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 will be how it spits out its results. Topsy the elephant, was that his name? Oh, Topsy, poor Topsy. Probably used to say world fairs are a massive rabbit hole if you don't already look into them. Oh, okay, I'll have to look into them deeper. Yeah, I always wondered why I never see anything about a World's Fair nowadays. I have seen like there's some people that like show these. I've seen old pictures of like these World's Fairs where they had like crazy technology, crazy like what are those travelators called? Yeah, travelators. They had like travelators and stuff and all this stuff. I don't know if those were AI before AI was big or someone just made fake ones. That's why I didn't really go down that rabbit hole. I was just like, it is what it is. I doubt because there's some. I think some World's Fairs had like giants and stuff. But once again, don't know what's real, what's not, with all the fakeness in the world. So I just put it to the side. It's nothing to be taken up any of my time with. You know what I mean? Any of my mind power. I'd rather focus on things that I can solve, that I do know. But it would be cool to see if there is a World's Fair coming up in the future, because I think that would be kind of fun. Let's see, is there going to be a World Fair? Okay, 2021. The next one's going to be in Japan, Osaka, Kansai, between 13 April 2025, October. So next year, April to October, under the theme Designing Future Society for Our Lives. That sounds awesome. I would love to go check that out. And I love Osaka. Osaka's so beautiful. Osaka's so nice. I love the people there. So nice. Oh, the food. Oh, the Kobe beef. Was it? No, not Kobe beef. Yeah, Kobe beef. The one that they massage the cows and make them drink beer and stuff like that. Crazy. No, not Kobe. Wagyu beef. Sorry, I don't know where my mind was. Kobe. Cool. I know what I'm saving up for. I'm going back to Japan in 2025, hopefully. That'll be awesome. Proper Keys says the response from Gemini was much bigger, but I just put the summary in the chat. They claimed they were temporary structures, but the theory goes they used them as an excuse to destroy the previous civilization. Okay, interesting. But it kind of, because the thing is, like, there's places like in, was it Rome or something? You've got the, what's that giant thingy called? Is it called the Pantheon or the Pantheon? Let me just Google it. Parthenon. Rome giant building. Old. That should bring up what I'm looking for, I think. That's not the one. Which is the one? Maybe it's not. Oh, here it is. I've loaded up on the wrong computer. Bear with. Rome, what a giant building. Old. All right, go away. Oh no, it's not. Let me see this. Why is it? There we go. Oh my god, these websites are terrible. Why do I have to do? There we go. That's as big as I can get the picture. So that thing is huge. Like that guy. There's someone standing right there. That's how small he is compared to this massive, massive ancient building. So my confusion is that if they were trying to destroy certain parts of history and old buildings, what Colosseum? Thank you. No, that's not the Colosseum. The Colosseum's a round one. That's not a Colosseum, bro. Unless it's also a Colosseum. Maybe a Colosseum is just a name for a type of building. But yeah, I thought the round one was Colosseum. You know where the gladiators fight? The Colosseum. Colosseum. Yeah, Colosseum's a round one, bro. Bruh. See, don't just trust AI. Look into Tartaria. Yes, I've heard of Tartaria as well. Yes. Yeah, definitely not Colosseum. But if you're saying to look at the Colosseum, I'll look at Colosseum. Colosseum regular size. It's big, but it's for regular size people. But that building I just showed you is definitely not for regular size people. Geisha is back. It says Colosseum. Probably says look into star forts. I've never heard of star forts. Interesting. I'll have to write that down. Star fort. It's not like a Stargate Atlantis, is it? Where there's like a star fort in the, what's it called? The Antarctica? No. Yeah, Antarctica's at the bottom. Yeah, there's not. You're not talking about a star fort in Antarctica, right? You're talking about the Colosseum in Rome. Yeah, I wasn't talking about the Colosseum in Rome. I was talking about that other building, the big one. I don't know why you're talking about the Colosseum, though. I have no idea why you brought up Colosseum. Look at the doors at the same. Look at the doors at some of the buildings in the Vatican. Interesting. I've never actually been to the Vatican. That would be a cool little trip as well. But yeah, I know Vatican's got a lot of old buildings there as well. No, I'm not thinking Stargate. I'm thinking Star Fort, a fort to fight the stars, and that's what was in Stargate Atlantis. In Antarctica was a base that would fight against any incoming threats, hence Star Fort. But yeah, I'll Google it later. I'll Google that later. It looks like I'm gonna have to do a bit of a deep dive and try and understand exactly what that is. But otherwise, for now, let's throw up a different video, and I'm gonna keep on drawing because I've not drawn much. I've literally got like half a face. Let's go with. Yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe in the weather as well. It wasn't so bad around where we are in London, but around the rest of the country, it's been quite horrific. Hopefully you're staying dry and whatnot. Why is my algorithm so bad today? It's not showing me anything that I'd actually want to watch. All right, this one's a 15-minute video, and he talks about God in a particular way. We'll see what he says. This is, what's his face? Morgue official. Ex-Christian, kind of got his own cult thing going at the moment called, I can't remember what they're called, but they've got some kind of like cool sounding name. Tetragrammaton or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
Who have been lied to. The proofs for God's existence aren't what you think they are. And the truth is that they point to something far more shocking and profound. And we're going to reveal exactly what that is. When we talk about proofs for God's existence, most people immediately think of a theistic God, like the kind of God you'd find in religious books, who's all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving. But what if I told you that these proofs are actually pointing to something else entirely? Something that could shatter your understanding of reality. Something that's been hidden right under our noses. We're going to look at 3 proofs.
I hate when people do this. They build it up so much. I really hope he delivers. I really hope he delivers now. He's built that up so much. Come on. Come on, Morgue official. Please deliver.
for the existence of God. And for centuries, people have been using these arguments to claim that God's existence is undeniable. But we're about to unravel the real story behind these proofs and reveal a secret that's been kept from you for far too long. A secret that will utterly change the way you understand yourself, your life, and existence forever. Remember to like and subscribe. My channel is about raising consciousness to create a new world. And when you hit the like button, it helps spread this information. So take a second to hit it now.
What he said about my channel. Hit the like button.
Also, make sure you follow my podcast on Spotify, Dawn of the New Earth, and check out my new book, Neogenesis, Dawn of the New Mind, available on Amazon right now. Links are
Neogenesis, that's what he calls his group. Neogenians. It's more about his philosophy is about a mathematical universe, which is pure just logic, I think. I think that's the way he looks at the world. I'll have to look at his old videos to understand that deeper.
in the description. I'm an ex-Christian that spent years uncovering the nature of reality, and people probably expect me to simply debunk these arguments, but the truth behind these proofs contains some of the most important revelations that you'll ever encounter. We're starting with one of the most famous arguments for the existence of God, known as the cosmological argument. This argument has a long history with roots in the work of ancient philosophers like Aristotle and later developed by Thomas Aquinas. So what exactly is the cosmological argument? At its core, it's about causation. The argument goes something like this. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe must have a cause. Now, this seems pretty straightforward. The first premise is based on the principle of causality, which we see
Cause and effect, yeah.
in our everyday lives. Nothing just pops into existence without a reason. If you see a new plant in your garden, well, you know it came from a seed. If you hear a noise in your house, you start looking for what caused that noise. In simple terms, anything that begins must have something that started it. The second premise is simply that the universe began to exist. Modern science, particularly in the Big Bang Theory, says that the universe began about 13.8 billion years ago. All matter, energy, space, and time sprang into existence from a singularity. But here's where things get really interesting. If everything that begins needs something to start it, and the universe had a beginning, well, then something had to have started the universe. But what could this something be? What is the cause? Now, here's where the argument traditionally points to God, a necessary, uncaused cause that exists outside of time and space and brought everything into existence. This is actually a pretty strong argument, but hold on a second. Think about this. Does this cause have to be a personal God, like the God described in the Bible or other religious books? This proof doesn't say anything about a loving God that has a personal relationship with people. It just says that...
No, it doesn't. The idea of the logical way of thinking that God exists because of the whole cause and effect isn't going to be the same reasoning you use that God is loving. You're using cause and effect. So you can't just go, oh yeah, cause and effect, oh, God is loving. No, that's why you have the book. That's why God sends his messengers with the message to tell you more about himself. Logically, you could understand there is a God, but if you want to get to know that God, that's when you would typically read the books, and hopefully if you're reading to get to know God, you would get to know God. If you're reading it just to memorize to prove other people wrong, then yeah, obviously you never find God. But yeah, I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he builds a better argument than just, oh, but that doesn't sound like a good God. Doesn't mean it's the same God as the Bible. Yeah.
that everything that begins to exist must have a cause, and thus something must have caused the universe. So what exactly is the cosmological argument pointing to? What is it that actually caused the universe? Well, we're going to discover exactly what that cause is. But before going further, let's explore the teleological...
Okay, so he just said we're going to what the actual cause was. As if he knows. Guaranteed. Yeah, people are very willy-nilly with their words, aren't they? He's building up these massive claims and then he's saying certain things that I'm just like, ugh. All right, Oh, benefit of the doubt, maybe he's going to drop some gems on me that I didn't even know.
Teleological argument, also known as the argument from design. Now, as an ex-Christian, the teleological argument was driven into my head as proof for the existence of the Christian God, and it's considered by many to be one of the most intuitive and convincing proofs for God's existence. So what is the teleological argument? Well, this argument is all about design and purpose. It says that the universe is so complex and well-ordered that it must have been designed by someone. William Paley, an 18th century philosopher, explained this with his watchmaker analogy. So think about it like this. If you find a watch on the ground, you wouldn't think it just appeared there by chance, right? You'd assume that
I've heard this argument so many times from Muslims. This is like one of their go-to arguments to try and get people to convert.
someone designed it and made it. Well, the teleological argument applies the same logic to the universe. It points out that the universe has complex laws, patterns, and systems that work together perfectly, and so concludes that there must be an intelligent designer behind it all. Now, this seems powerful, but hold on and think about this. What the teleological argument does is provide evidence that the universe is ordered and structured. It certainly doesn't prove the existence of a theistic God, like the God of Christianity. What if
Once again, he keeps bringing this back to it doesn't prove that the Christian God is bro, it's just an idea to express that if something has been created with a great amount of design where things fit perfectly into synchronicity with each other and everything is relies on each other, everything's in a web, everything's connected, then that shows that there was some kind of intention behind the designing where everything fits beautifully together. It's not supposed to prove the Christian Bible, that God is this God. It's just an idea of understanding what God is as his power. And then you get to know who God is through the books. But yeah, maybe I'm misunderstanding something here, but I doubt it.
This incredible order and complexity that we see are the result of something else entirely? Well, we're going to find out what's really responsible for the ordered.
He's probably going to say math. But then it's like, who made math? Who came up with the idea of math? God.
Structure of existence. But there's one more argument we need to explore. Now, this is one of the more challenging arguments to understand, but it's actually one of the most powerful and important, the ontological argument. Now, this argument is different from the others because it doesn't rely on physical evidence or observations of the natural world. Instead, it's based purely on logic and reason. The ontological argument was first proposed by Anselm in the 11th century, but we're going to take a look at the philosopher Norman Malcolm's modern take on the argument. So here's a simplified explanation. Malcolm distinguishes between two kinds of existence: contingent things, which are things that exist but could also not exist. For example, take the Earth. The Earth exists, but you could imagine a theoretical universe where it didn't exist. The Earth does exist, but it's not something that has to exist. Something is contingent if it depends on something else for its existence. Think of a house. A house is contingent because it needs builders, materials, and a place to be built. If any of those things didn't happen, the house wouldn't exist. It relies on outside factors. Now, in contrast to contingent existence, there is necessary existence. So, necessary existence is something that must exist and cannot.
You're not a child, you're a man.
So I'm guessing the necessary existence will be things like elements, the basic elements of the universe, because those are the building blocks of everything. So those are needed. But whereas the house, it's contingent on all those resources being available.
Not exist. And it doesn't depend on anything else. For example, mathematical truths necessarily exist. A statement like two.
I told you he loves the math angle. He loves the whole God is numbers. I've seen a couple of videos from him before, but yeah, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying God doesn't use math because he's designed the universe using the math, but he's the one who's done the designing. The math didn't create itself. You know what I mean? So let's see where he's going with this.
2 + 2 = 4, in base 10, of course, is true and cannot be false. No matter what, it's always true and has to be true, and it doesn't need anything else other than itself to be true. So Malcolm's argument starts with the idea that if God exists, Well, God is a necessary being. This means if God exists, he has to exist, just like 2 + 2 always equals 4, no matter what. So, Malcolm argues if it's even possible that God exists, then he has to exist necessarily. This is because a necessary by definition must exist if it's possible at all. So according to Malcolm, since the concept of God isn't logically impossible, it means God's existence is necessary, therefore God exists. But let's take a step back and ask, does this argument necessarily prove the existence of a personal God, or is it actually pointing to something else entirely? See, this argument points to the fact that something has to exist, that it would be impossible for that something to not exist. But what is that something? Now, these arguments are powerful, but many people leap to the conclusion that they prove a specific, personal, loving God. Now, not everyone believes.
No, they prove a God. They prove that God exists. They prove that the idea of God is real. But they don't prove that it's a loving God. It just proves that he's real. If you want to get to know God and know whether he's loving, hating, whatever, that's when you would read the books. I'm honestly not enjoying this content at all. He's over-promised at the beginning, and then he's just saying that he could answer it just with math. Math is the answer. It's like, bro, that's so simple. Think bigger. Think bigger. Who made the math? But anyway, there's a few comments here. Probably say, look at this, check out the lock at the top. Who is big enough to reach the latch at the top? I don't know what that means. Probably says all of the nonsense from Billy Carson gets exposed. Who's Billy Carson? Is this what Billy Carson talks about? Wait, is Billy Carson that black dude who says that he's 80 years old? And he's just been recently, people have been taking the piss out of him because he was I can't even find a picture. Why can't I find a picture? Yes, it is him. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Billy Carson. Yeah. Everyone's taking the mick out of him at the moment because he lost a debate and then he got really offended and hurt in his ego. So he woke up. Well, he didn't actually go to sleep. He went to the person's house he lost the debate with at 2:30 in the morning to serve him papers to say that I want you to take your video down because he was so offended with him losing the argument or the debate. So is this whatever this guy's talking about, is this the same stuff that Billy Carson talks about then? Is it? I've only just seen Billy Carson in regards to that incident that just happened recently. I don't follow the guy, don't know much about him. I've only just seen his faces every once in a while where he talks about Christianity and why it's not real, I think. It's really good. It's a really great debate to watch. I did watch part of it. I watched the highlights, basically. I watched someone else's video on it. But yeah, it did seem like a really good conversation. And I know someone else has just uploaded the full interview. Or the full debate. So yeah, I might give that a watch as well. It's interesting. Because I know you say something about, it's in the text of Barbarous. And the guy's like, no, it's not. Oh no, not text of Barbarous, some other sciatica. And he's like, no, it's not in this. It's in the sciatica. You're claiming it's not in the sciatica? It is in the sciatica. And then he goes, oh, no, not that book, the other book. And then, yeah. So he was actually against someone who actually knew this stuff, who actually had all the paperwork at his disposal to fight his case. So yeah, it does sound like a really good debate. So yeah, definitely we'll check out the full version eventually. Wesley Huff is a real historian. Yeah, that's the guy he was debating. Unlike Billy, who took on an online course from MIT that anyone can do and then says he's graduated from MIT. Yeah, I heard that he tells everyone that he's 80 years old or 70 years old, but because he's figured out the secrets of the universe, he looks 30. But in actual fact, he's around 30 or 40. But it's just something he's been saying to try and get followers into his cult. I think it's a cult. I don't know. Everything is a cult. What about the thousands of people that have NDEs and have had experience of meeting God? Exactly. All of that gets ignored. Although we can't take it as pure fact. We could say possibly they had hallucinations, they were in a dream state or whatever. But yeah, we can't take it as 100% fact. But we also have to look at the fact that all these people are having these similar experiences. And I've used this argument before at Speaker's Corner. If I gave you DMT in the London, and I gave someone DMT in India, and I gave someone DMT in Canada, and someone DMT in Mexico, they'd all be seeing similar things. They'd all be seeing similar patterns, geometric patterns and things like that. But they may have completely different experiences, where they've grown up, what they've experienced in life, what they think about, the kind of people they are. But for some reason, you give them this drug and they start all experiencing the same thing. Bit weird to me. That shows me that there's something beyond this physical realm that we can't see, that we can't perceive. And then sometimes with these certain drugs like DMT, they activate the receptors in our eyes and mind to see beyond the veil. Propagiza says Billy Garson is trying to sue Wesley Huff, who destroyed him in the debate. Billy Garson says stuff like ancient aliens. Ancient aliens. Propagiza says, what do you mean? Does a good summary. Okay, cool. What do you mean? That's a funny name. Can you see the links in chat? I added the links to the debate. No, I can't see the links in chat. Sorry, buddy. I think that's my fault. I was messing around with moderators, and there we go. I demodded you by accident, and I couldn't find your name. So yeah, if you want to pop the link there now, I'll see the link, and I'll be able to watch it later. With NDEs, by the way, for those who are listening and don't know what an NDE is, it's a near-death experience. So with near-death experiences, there was a person that was blind from birth and described everything around them when they died and was correct. Wow. Interesting. That is cool. That's a cool story. I like that story. Probably says, oh, that makes... because I put a link for a picture of a massive door. Oh, is that in regards to the doorknob thing that you said earlier? What was it? Check out the lock at the top. Who is big enough to reach? Is that's the one you're talking about? Yeah, yeah. I must have missed that as well. Cool. Let's give it a couple more seconds. See if it gets any better. If this guy just keeps talking about math being his god, and hopefully not, but we'll see.
This, and they understand that these proofs aren't pointing to a personal God, but many people do make that leap. And this isn't just a stretch, it's totally fallacious. It's like this. Imagine that you were walking along the beach and you saw a mark in the sand, not like a footprint or anything, just some kind of mark. Well, what does this mark tell you? It simply means that someone or something made the mark, but it would be totally flawed to immediately jump to the conclusion that the mark in the sand proved that a specific person, like Abraham Lincoln, made the mark. So likewise, the three arguments that we're exploring are powerful, but they say absolutely nothing about a God who created the earth in 6 days and had a son named Jesus who died for your sins. Just because there's a first cause and that reality exhibits order and something must have necessary existence in no way proves the existence of a specific entity or its traits, like being all-loving, all-knowing, or involved in our personal lives. But humans are constantly projecting human qualities onto non-human things. So now that we know something about these three arguments, let's discover the truth. What are they actually revealing? Well, what if they prove nothing? I mean, literally nothing. What I mean is, what if the true ground of all existence is nothingness? Not in the sense of empty void, but in the mathematical concept of zero. This isn't an empty zero, but full.
In the mathematical concept, zero. But it's not an empty zero, it's full of life. So it's not nothing, it's something. Bro, this guy confuses himself, I think, honestly.
Containing all mathematical values that balance to zero. Think of it like this. Don't think of zero as being empty, but as a state of perfect balance. In mathematical terms, zero can be seen as containing all numbers. Why? Well, think about it.
So literally he's saying zero is basically all the numbers and that is God. Bro, and it's got no consciousness or anything, it's just number zero because it's balanced. Like he's got some good ideas in regards to the zero and the nothingness and the oneness and you know what I mean, like the zero containing everything. Like he's got some really good concepts and ideas, but I think he's really trying to be separate from any kind of Christian beliefs. So he's like, no, not a personal God. No, you can't get to know God. No. It's all logical. It's all purely mathematical. And he's just going down this route, which, like I said, is good for certain things, but not everything. You need that balance. Prop keys are dropping something saying, oh, there's a massive door. I don't know what I'm looking at with the red door, but it better be worth it. Oh, nope, didn't work. Oh, it's Reddit. Oh, yeah, Reddit doesn't work on my thing for some reason. Star forced. They're all over the world. Okay, star forced. I thought you said star fort. Okay, star forced. Unless that was a spelling and it is star fort. Cool. I'll have a quick look at that picture. Go to site. Oh, cool. Okay, star fort. I like that. That's cool. So it's basically land shaped in the shape of a star with some kind of like buildings in it. Interesting, but that's definitely man-made. That's not naturally occurring, I don't think. Yeah, definitely not naturally occurring with those angles. Netherlands near the German border, seen in all cars what was completed originally. 1593. Yeah, so it was made in 1593. It's cool. Oops, I just closed something I wasn't supposed to close. Yeah, it sounds cool, but I don't see it as being much of a mystery, unless you're trying to say, but why did they make the Star Fort? Is that the mystery? And thank you again for the Billy Carson link. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah. So what's the mystery with the Star Forts? Is it just why did they do it, or are you trying to just say why are they everywhere?
If you add +1 and -1, they balance out to 0. The same goes for +2 and -2, +100 and -100, and on and on. All these pairs of numbers exist within the concept of 0 because they sum up to nothing. They don't destroy each other. It's a perfect balance. It's a dynamic.
See, if he understood what he's saying a little bit better, what he should do is understand that, let's say, zero in the middle, and then we've got 1, 2, -1, -2, 1, and 2. So if that's let me just make my screen a little bit bigger. There we go. Yeah, so if he's saying everything is 0 because 1 plus -1 balances to 0, 2 plus -2 balances to 0, and that's 0 is God. He's missing a key thing, and this is something we talk about here, is the righteous path. So if we were to say righteous path goes that way, and then the worldly path that way, you want to be balanced in the middle. Well, let's not call it righteous path, because righteous path is something separate. Let's call it spiritual. The spiritual, because that I'll be able to explain it better with ways you'd understand. So yeah, one way is the worldly way, one way is the spiritual way. Now the thing is, some people go too far down the spiritual way and they lose touch with reality. And then there's other people who go the worldly way who lose touch with their spirituality. The idea is you're supposed to be balanced. As that famous hero once said, Thanos, he said, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. That's where you want to be. You want to be in that 0 state. You don't want to be too far on one side or too far on the other. You want to be perfectly balanced so you're able to enter either world as you need to. Hoi, oi, oi. Yeah, so, yeah. I've followed this Morg official many years ago. Like, I'm actually subscribed to him from day one. Well, not his day one, but when I found him a few years ago. But I'm not gonna lie, every time I do watch his videos, I'm like, bro, you're so close. You're so close. Not that I know everything, but it's just the way he describes everything, where he's so matter of fact, but then he's missing like basic understanding of like, how can God just be numbers? The numbers must come from somewhere. Who created the number system? If it's so logical and perfect, that logical number system must be created by something that can think. Oops. You know what I mean? It's just simple deduction that he's failing to make because he really wants to push this whole cult thing of his Neogenians, where he's like, oh, numbers is the world, is everything, and that's all you need to worry about. Connect with numbers. Connect with numbers. You don't need a personal god. All you need numbers. Yeah. So I thought that was quite interesting watch. It was an interesting watch to see his perspective, but I definitely don't agree. Definitely don't agree. What do you guys think? Do you think universe is going to be made by a personal god, or do you think he's just a bunch of numbers that doesn't exist? Do you think it's all by accident and a god is just a bunch of numbers? Because obviously, if you guys are on his wavelength and you understand what he's saying, please enlighten me, because I've obviously missed what he's saying. If it makes sense to you guys, or maybe you guys have missed the point, which is probably more likely. Because all I do is think, unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately. Thinking is my thing. All right. I'm pretty much done with my drawing now. So I'm just going to see if there's any chat. Just clicking my back. There we go. Yeah, just have a quick look at the chat. And then I'll probably end the stream here. Explaining star forced thoughts is too much for me to explain in the chat. Okay, so you've dropped a link for a video. Awesome, thank you. I'll watch that later as well. And what was the other link? Let me just pull that other link up as well before I lose it. Okay, that's the door one that you were mentioning. Let's have a look at the door. Oh wow, yeah. Exactly. Who would have opened that top lock? Who would have opened that top lock? I'm gonna have to show this one because that's a good share there, bro. Appreciate that one. How do I do this? Nope, I can't do that. I have to load up my chat on this computer. Give me a second, guys. I just gotta mess around with my settings a little bit. I really like the songs I made, and I'm not just being big-headed. Not just because I made them. I just find them so good. I really. Oh, here we go. I really like. Here we go. I just like listening to them in my free time, which is good because I hope that because I enjoy it, that you guys might enjoy it too. Okay, and share this tab. Here we go. This is the door that he was talking about. So you can see the man here. Let me make sure it's on screen. No, it's not on screen. Here we go. There's the man here. This is the door, and that's the lock at the top. Why would you have a lock there unless you had someone who's able to... I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Proper Geezer. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to say that the door was made because it was grand, and the lock at top, just so that there was a lock at the top and the bottom in case someone tried barging in, like attacks from people, I guess. I don't know who they were expecting attacks from, probably enemies. And then the top one, they would use a really long pole and they would push it up and it would unlatch, and then they could open the doors. So I'd say long pole. But that's just me being the devil's advocate there. But that was a cool shit. Cool shit. I appreciate that. That was actually pretty cool to look at. Thank you, Proper Geezer. And I'm just going to load up the other one. And you said something about... no, Hangman. Yes, we'll do Hangman. We'll do a quick game of Hangman as well. We'll do one game of Hangman. The Star Fort Link is a good channel. It's a channel called John Levi. He has some very good videos. Look at his videos on World Fairs. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Thank you. Probably says, look at the size of that latch. It's iron and would weigh loads. Yes, it would. Yeah. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate as if, like, if that was me in that situation and I had to open the latch, I'll just use a really long stick, metal stick, but it'd have to be a really long one. And it'd need to have, like, some kind of handles to it that you could push up rather than just a pipe. But that's just playing devil's advocate. Who knows? We won't know the 100% truth of why it's there. All we could do is speculate. We could say, yeah, maybe giants, maybe aliens, ancient alien giants, whatever. But with the information we have at the moment, I'm just going to say grandiose building. It makes zero sense for it to be a grandiose building like that. But yeah. Unless we just say it's giants. But then how do you prove such a thing? The start, yeah, thank you very much. And it's obviously for a giant. Yeah. It looks like it. It looks like it, so it must be. But I leave myself open for newer ideas, different ideas, just in case. Let's ask Billy Carson. I'm sure he's got an opinion on it. I'm sure even this morgue official will say that it was made by numbers. They just calculated stuff and the numbers made it. So yeah, everyone's got their own opinions, I guess. Let's do this quick game of Hangman. And then we'll end the stream here. All right. So Hangman, we'll go with science today. Science will be the topic. Let's go with I thought of a really good word, but I don't know how to spell it, so I'm not going to do it. I'd have to Google it first. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's just quickly Google the word, just make sure I spell it right. Yep, I spelled that wrong. Here we go. So it's... Sorry. Yep, there we go. That's a long one. A big long one for you. So you should be able to get quite a few letters in there. And then hopefully you get it. Probably not, because it is going to be a tough one. This is a toughie. Science word. Just so I'll give you a bit of a clue, it's more physics related, I believe. It's more of a physics related thing, I think. Or let's see. And actually, let's say chemistry. Let's say it's more chemistry. Letter C. We've got 2 C's. We've got 2 C's. You've taken a screenshot and I've got the answer from the reflection of my eyes. You did that thing like they did in the movies back in the day. There'd just be like a really grainy image and the person, like the policeman, would be like, enhance that. And they just go click, click. And then all of a sudden this grainy image starts becoming crystal clear. You got one of those computers, yeah? Come on, next letter. You've got C. Oh, H. No H. No H. No H. I told you this one's going to be a tough one. S. We have an S. Just the one. You still there, Propaganda? Anyone else want to hazard or drop some letters? You feel free. I can see there's a Ninja Watcher backstage as well. I. Oi, very good one. Just one at the beginning. It's not going to make it easier. Well, actually, if you do manage to guess it from this, I'd be impressed. What you got for me? What's your next letter? N. Ooh. There's a couple. I think that might actually help you solve it. I think that N is what was the key to it all. I think that N might have. What's your next letter, buddy? Oh, yes, you got it. Incandescent. Brilliant. Yes. Amazing. Beautiful. Incandescent, which means emitting light as a result of being heated. Or it could be full of strong emotion. Passionate. Which is why I like the word. I was like, yeah, it's quite relevant to the whole... you got it after the S. No way. Awesome. It's a brilliant word, isn't it? Yeah, it's just because I was looking at the light bulb and I was like, oh, incandescent light bulb. And then I was like, yeah, I like the whole incandescence. Yeah, very nice word. They did well when they made that one. Awesome. But thank you so much for playing Proper Geezer, and great guessing again. That's 2-0 to the chat. Yeah, maybe one day you could come up and you could, if you want to come up and do a chat thing, maybe we could, like on a chill stream, we could do a bit more Hangman and other games and stuff, you know, have a bit of fun, play around a little bit. But yes, thank you for playing. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for keeping me company. It was nice. I actually appreciate it. I was just planning on just sitting here by myself and drawing, but conversations have been good, and the videos have been quite good as well that we've been watching and reviewing and whatnot. Well, I think they were good. Definitely promoted a lot of thought in me. But otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you again. Appreciate you. Love you. Hope you have an amazing evening. And I shall see you when I see you next. Take care, guys. Bye.
Yeah, I've been through the shadows, walked in the night, seen the world get heavy, try to crush my light. The hope keeps burning deep in my soul, the flame that won't fade, yeah, it keeps me whole. When life gets rough and the clouds roll in, hope is the anchor that pulls me again. In the darkest of times, when all seems lost, hope breaks through no matter the cost. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. They say light can't shine without a little dark. Hope's that spark, yeah, ignites the heart. When the path ain't clear and the road feels long, hope gives me strength, makes me strong. I've seen despair try to steal my fight, but hope keeps pushing like day through night. It's a voice in my head saying keep going strong, tells me I'm right where I belong. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies. It shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies.